Hi guys, my name is Lauren Nolan, and I grew up in Camas, Washington. So, we are the last. If you're going down I-5 South on I-5, we are the last town in Washington before you hit Portland. So, fun fact: no one knows who that is. So I just say, "Oh, I'm from Portland, Oregon," or "I'm from Vancouver, Washington," because Camas is a very small town. I am 21. I have an older sister who is 23, and I come from divorced parents, but that's a different story. But that's my background. So on the Myers-Briggs, I just want to talk about this because I thought these were really cool tests that we got to take. So for the Myers-Briggs, I scored an ISTJ. So I feel really official being able to say that now. So I am introverted, I sense things, I am a thinker, and I am a judger. So, and I scored actually moderate to high on all of those. So that was pretty cool. Though the test that I really did like was a TPSI test, which in contrast with the Myers-Briggs, I actually scored high in extroversion. And so what that kind of means about me is that I do like to interact with people. I like to verbalize my thoughts. I they go out of my mouth and they come back into my ears, and then it all makes sense. So I have all my epiphanies that way, so it's pretty cool. There were some suggestions for development, which I also found really helpful for me, which is that I need to kind of try thinking before I talk sometimes, because I don't always do that, and so I also need to be kind of considerate of what other people say and let that affect me the same way that my own voice, the way I hear my own voice. So I also scored high on agreeableness. I like to be positive. I kind of like to go with the flow. I like to mesh things. Kind of mediate. I don't like to cause a whole lot of conflict, but I also am not afraid to say, hey, I'm kind of uncomfortable with this, if something's going on, and I like when other people reciprocate that. So I don't it's frustrating to me when people are oh yeah, no, everything's really fine, and then at the last minute they're oh my gosh, this has been the worst thing ever, and it's why didn't you say something? So communication is huge for me. Hence on the extroversion, I like talking, I like listening, I like to be in communication with other people. I also scored high on conscientiousness, which is really hard to say if you have a lisp. So on that scale, and it kind of describes me as being, I'm goal-oriented, and I like to achieve things, and I am very internally motivated. I like deadlines. Actually, I like to set deadlines about a week before the real deadlines, because I just like to have a lot of spare time, and so I don't ever leave things to the last minute. I am very dependable, and I think that kind of, it all makes sense in regards to the way that I'm driven by my thoughts and not by my feelings, actually, really at all. I don't really like to, feelings are kind of a foreign thing to me sometimes, and so I like to just focus basically on my brain. And so school is really fun for me because I don't have to worry about anything that's emotionally going on. I can just focus on school and the logistics of it, and that's fun for me. I also scored pretty moderate on stability, which I thought was funny. Moderate, not high, so I'm emotionally a wreck. Just kidding. So I am generally calm, and so kind of like Anna, though, things I do get kind of frustrated sometimes. On the type A personality, I scored, I think, a 49, and so I was also kind of right there in the middle, but I am also at risk for heart failure or heart disease or Lord knows. And so that was kind of an eye-opener for me, that it said, irritable, and so it was, irritable and irrational or something like that, and I was oh, wow, I never really thought about how my personality can make me come off that way. And so what I am trying to do is, sit back and analyze my own feelings and kind of analyze the situation to see if what I'm feeling is appropriate. If it's something we aren't getting a whole lot done when we're meeting, is that something you're really frustrated about? No, probably not. So I want to focus kind of on that and develop those tendencies to not overreact and things like that. In the openness category, I scored moderate, which kind of means that I'm split between conventional ideas and these new ideas. I like to mesh them and kind of have a balance between new and innovative, but also old-fashioned, because old-fashioned has been kind of proven to work, but new ideas are also kind of fun. It's also fun, I think, to mesh them and come up with something totally new. So what is good? A good role for me is in mediating between people who have new ideas and people who have the conventional ideas, and helping to find good and a down there. So that is my TPSI test, and that says basically everything I think that's most important to know about me. So